What lessons are there perhaps that we can learn from women in high-profile leadership positions at, say, Facebook versus Yahoo?
I am a huge fan of Sheryl Sandberg and have done a little bit of work with her because she did start this conversation. She really brought this conversation to the fore and made it into what is really now a culturally relevant conversation. She admitted that there are ways in which she had held herself back. She talked about women who worked for her, who, wouldn't sit at the main table in a meeting, who chose to sit at a perimeter seat in a meeting. One of my favorite stories, there's so many great stories in the book, she's a very effective storyteller, is a time when she was working at Google and she was very pregnant and was pushing the limit, pushing the time on a meeting that she was supposed to attend. Parking was full. She got in a bit late, so she had to park in the very back of the parking lot. She came rushing into the meeting and was incredibly winded, which happens when you try to move fast as a very pregnant woman. And the CEO at the time said, "What's going on? Are you okay?" I'm sure he was very concerned that she was going to go into labor in the office. And she told him she had to park in the back. And he looked at her and said, "So why don't we put maternity parking in the front? We can reserve some spaces." Very easy ask, no problem to do. And I think just making women aware that they have a voice. The situation at Yahoo is a bit different. Marissa hasn't spoken out as much on how there may or may not be gender differences in her leadership style and what she's trying to do. But there is an interesting research finding. Women tend to get chosen for difficult leadership roles, a company that may not already be doing well, to a much higher level than companies would choose men. So the board of Yahoo chose Marissa at a time in which Yahoo was struggling in a very large way. And there might be something to look into around that, because there's a much higher failure rate. And then the world can tend to attribute that failure to the fact that she's a woman.
That the fact that maybe they were set up not to succeed as easily as
On the
others.
other hand, Marissa Mayer she appears to be a highly risk-tolerant leader. She's clearly successful in her past. And I could imagine with somebody who has that kind of a driven personality, it's a big challenge to go into a company that's really struggling and try to right-size it.